Hello everyone, and welcome back to readings from the Imperial Library. I am your host Infinity, and today I'll be reading you the book Song of Hrormir, a book that appears in both the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion and the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. It's supposed to be read like a poem, but I'm going to read it like it's a book, so let's begin. Song of Hrormir. Author, Anonymous. Hrormir, son of Hrogar, summoned to the court of Vindok, son of Vinmor, king of Evensnow. Mighty caster of magic, I charge thee to go to Aelfindor, for its hoary warriors do threaten my land and bring forth their cousin demons to terrify my people. Hrormir, son of Hrogar, heard the words of Vindok Evensnow. By Icestaff, I surely would help thee, but I already have a quest to drink 12 flagons of mead in 1 hour, and then to bed 4 wenches twice each, so I must with grace decline. The king he did not smile at Hrormir in his jolly spirit. By thine honor must thou aidest my cause, for must thou takest up the sword of thy companion Darfang, who took the quest and failed. Hrormir laughed. Now I know thou jest. My boon-mate Darfang wouldst not fail, there be no finer bladesman. If thou chargest him, he wouldst not fail. I did not say he fell. He joined the Dark Kings of Aelfindor, and by doing so dishonored himself and thee, his friend. Hrormir could not believe the words, and yet he knew Evensnow didst not lie. So for 20 days and 3 rodeth he, to the land of night, the kingdom of fear, where the peasants ever carried candles, knowing what evil await them should they stray beyond the glow, the sovereign sea of 3 dark kings, Aelfindor. There, torch in hand, didst Hrormir pass through the haunted countryside and frightened villages, and through the black gates of the blacker castle of Aelfindor. The 3 dark kings didst sneer at the sight of mighty Hrormir, and summoned they their companion, Darfang the Blade. My boon companion, Hrormir called in the Hall of Night. I dare not trust my eyes, for then I wouldst believe that thou hast joined with evil, and turned thy way from honor and brotherhood. Hrormir, Darfang the Blade didst cry, if thou dost not go now, one of us must die, for I hate thee. But Hrormir was battle-ready, and in the echoing halls of night, the blade of Darfang and the staff of Hrormir didst strike again and yet again. Mighty warriors and mages both, the boon companions now foes shook Mundus with their war. They might have fought for a year if there were a sun in Aelfindor to mark time, and either Hrormir or Darfang may verily have won. But Hrormir saw through the dark the tears in the eyes of his former friend, and then he saw the shadow of Darfang were not his own. And so with Icestaff he did strike, not Darfang, but his shadow, which cried, Hold, mortal man! The shadow becameth the hag, bent and twisted in her cloak and hood. From her faceless shadows she hissed, Mortal man, called Hrormir, the soul of thy boon companion is my plaything, but I will take thine in trade, for though ye both have strong arms, thou hast the more clever mind, which my sons the Dark Kings need for a champion of Aelfindor. Hrormir the Brave didst not take a breath or pause before he boldly said, Shadowy hag, release Darfang, and thou mayest use me as thou will. The hag didst laugh and freed Darfang. To save thine honor this thou hast done, but now thou must be without honor, mortal man. As the champion of the Dark Kings, my heirs of grey may be, thou must help them divide Aelfindor, and love me, thy shadowy hag, and thy mistress well. For his loss of honor and his dear friend's sacrifice, noble Darfang prepared to take his dagger and plunge it in his good heart. But Hrormir stayed his brother's hand and whispered, No, boon companion, wait for me at the village banquet hall. And then did Darfang the Blade leave the castle, while Hrormir took the withered claw of the hag and pressed it to his lips. Shadowy hag, to thee I pledge, to only honor thy black words, to turn my back on truth, to aid thy Dark King's ambition, to divide their inheritance fairly, to love thee, to think thee beautiful. Then to the chamber in the heart of night, Hrormir and the hag did retire, kissed he there her wrinkled lips and her wrinkled sagging breasts. For 10 days and nights and 3 did Hrormir and his Icestaff battle thus. Then sweet Kennereth blew honeyed winds over the hills and forest glens of Aelfindor, and the caress of warm-blooded Dubella coaxed the blossoms to wanton display, so that Aelfindor became a garden of all the senses. The frightened servants of the Dark Kings woke to find there was naught to fear, and through the once dark streets of the village came the cries of celebration. In the banquet hall of the village, Hrormir and his boon companion Darthfang embraced and drank of rich mead. The shadowy hag too was smiling, sleeping still in her soft bed, until the morning sun touched her naked face, and she awoke and saw all, and knew all saw her, and she cried out, "Mortal man!" Night fell fast upon the land as the hag flew into the banquet hall, casting blackest darkness in her wake. But all the celebrants could still see her anger in her monstrous face, and they shook with fear. The hag had said the kingdom was to be divided among her heirs, but Aelfindor had been kept whole while her children divided, drawn, and quartered. Hrormir was mightily amused. He swallowed his laughter in his mead, for none should laugh outright at the Daedric Lord Nocturnal. Without her grey cowl of shadowed night, her hideous face forced the moons to hide themselves. Hrormir the mighty did not quail. "Where is to be thine hood, shadowy hag? Mortal man has taken it from me unaware. When I awoke, my face unmasked, my kingdom cast into light, my dark king heirs in pieces cast, and here my champion smiles. Yet in truth thou kept thy promise truly, to never keep thy promise true." Hrormir, son of Hrogar, bowed to the hag his queen. "And evermore, till thou releaseth me, will I serve thee so. A clever mind in a champion is a much overvalued trait." The hag released Hrormir's soul, and he released her hood. And so in the light of darkest dark, she left Aelfindor evermore. And after drinking 12 flagons of mead, and bedding 4 wenches twice each, did Darthfang return to Eversnow with Hrormir, son of Hrogar. So, I thought maybe I could summarize this story for some of you guys. I understand the wording can be a little confusing, and because of that I might have lost some of you by the end. So, to summarize the story, the titular character Hrormir is a powerful and clever Nordic mage who, while clever, is very brash and behaves more like a warrior. King Eversnow at the beginning of the story demands Hrormir embark on a quest to defeat the Dark Kings of Aelfindor because his companion and friend Darthfang was sent on this same quest and instead of completing the quest, dishonored himself and joined the Dark Kings. Hrormir, after traveling 23 days, arrives in Aelfindor and finds and then battles Darthfang, only to find the reason he joined the Dark Kings was because he was being controlled by a hag. After sacrificing himself to free his friend, Hrormir is now in service to the Dark Kings and must serve the hag as his queen and love her. After serving her for 23 days and nights, he drives away the Dark Kings by stealing the hag's great cowl and revealing the hag's horrible face to them. It is then revealed that this hag is actually the Daedric Prince Nocturnal, and these Dark Kings, who were actually the different forms of the Moons of Nirn, were driven away by Nocturnal's ugly appearance. And before any of you say, oh, Nocturnal's not actually that ugly given her appearance in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the way she appears in this story is more akin to her Daggerfall appearance, which I'll show a picture of here, and is more hag-like in appearance, just like the book describes. As for the ending, because all of the moons and darkness left Aelfindor, everything is peaceful, sunny, calm, and beautiful. And Nocturnal awakes to find that she is furious because Hrormir was clever enough to realize that because he pledged himself saying that he would turn his back on truth, he was not technically betraying her by deceiving her and stealing her cowl. Realizing that Hrormir ruined everything and would only continue to do this kind of stuff, she releases him and leaves Aelfindor. This in turn completes Hrormir's quest, and in turn he had saved his friend. And with this, they go back to the kingdom, and he goes back to his old ways of drinking mead and bedding wenches. Basically, this guy is just the stereotypical D&D player, and I'm here for it. But that's basically the Song of Hrormir. For those of you who don't know, this story was interesting as it gives us more context to a quest item from the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion's Thieves Guild questline. During the quest Misdirection, you must steal the Icestaff of Hrormir from the Arcane University in the Imperial City, so that you can get the Mages Guild to demand the Imperial Guard stop watching the waterfront district so heavily and return to guarding the city properly. Outside of this, the staff doesn't make any other appearances outside this quest or even outside of Oblivion. And I think this is where I'm going to end things for today. I really like this one. This was actually recommended by my friend Septim. He wanted me to read this one, so I took a look at it, read the first 2 sentences, and I was already hooked, so I thought you guys might enjoy this one too. I am very tired, and I apologize if the second half of this reading is very loose and I appear just tired. I just wanted to finish recording this tonight so I could edit it later this week. But I thank you guys so much for watching this, and I really do hope you're enjoying these. I'm hoping to put out at least one of these a week to kind of pad out my content, so that way you guys have stuff that's Elder Scrolls related while I'm working on a lot heavier videos, so to say. I am going to finish up the one I'm currently working on, which is a really big project, like I said, and I will be making the Fallout New Vegas video next after that, and I also want to make a Coda video, because if you guys didn't see my community tab, Coda is, at least the website is down, and I have copies of the PDF file, but for those who would be looking into it, it's just not out there. So I thought I would just try to make a video on it since I've been putting that off for like a year or 2 now. And my other Coda video seems to be getting more traction for some reason, even though I really hope people stop watching that one because I'm a little embarrassed by it. Because it's a part 1, it never got a part 2, and I feel like I didn't grasp the subject so readily at the time. But this is just me rambling at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Readings from the Imperial Library. I am your host, Infinity, and I hope you all have a nice day, night, or evening, wherever or whenever you're at. Take it easy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.